Hello and welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. One of my very favorites is here for happy hour, and she can talk about anything. She is so phenomenally gifted. Whenever I see her on the screen on Fox News, I stop whatever I'm doing. I drop whatever is in my hands, even if it's a bucket of hot oil, because I have to hear, because when she's on, she means business, she means weather, she means music, and she is awesome. Janice Dean is back.
Oh my goodness.
For happy hour.
I'm so excited. This is Friday and I am ready to have happy hour.
So this is kind of a cranberry Tom and tonic. So it's like a Tom Collins.
Okay.
If it met a gin and tonic with
Right.
cranberry and had a baby.
And right, but this is not non-alcoholic.
Sure it is. Yeah, that's what I meant. Uh-huh. There we go.
Cheers.
So mocktails and friendship.
Listen, did you know?
Mhm.
Oh, that's splendid.
That's nice.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
You should come out with a book of all of your cocktails that
Fresh
you
and crisp.
have.
Yeah. This is nice.
I would buy that. Yes,
okay,
this
so
is
here's the
delicious.
thing about the drinks that I make. I don't want them to be fussy.
Okay.
I don't want them to take a ton of ingredients, and like, because I know people who are actual like cocktail connoisseurs and
Okay.
mixologists.
Yes.
They have like black walnut bitters and like these random, and it's like,
Right.
I don't want to do that. But I love the idea, like baking, of putting taste together
Yes.
that, maybe you normally wouldn't. And I also love cocktails where you can't taste the alcohol. Like here, because there's no alcohol in it.
No alcohol at all.
Mm-mm.
No. Gin and tonic is one of my favorite all-time drinks for
Yeah.
that very reason. It is very simple.
Mhm.
I'm not fussy about the gin either.
Yeah.
It can be like a $5 gin or a $3,000 gin.
Is there
I
such a
still
thing?
love it. I have no idea.
Is there a high-end gin?
Mm.
I don't know. Like,
Probably
I know
not.
there's not a lot of high-end vodkas, which makes me laugh because I know vodka drinkers. So for the holidays, you want to get someone something special.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's no like, I'm sure there is. I'm sure someone's going to be in the comments like, "How dare you?
no, I don't think
Brewski
there.
McGill's is $400 a bottle."
I think there are expensive gins. For instance, I have friends in Ireland that bring back a special. It's called Muff Gin.
Wow.
Yes, and I think it is rather expensive if you try to buy it here in the U.S., but they actually stuff it into one of their
I
carry-ons.
got some pink airport gin in Scotland,
Pink.
and it was lovely.
Oh, I love the colors. But anyway, this is spectacular, and not only is it made with non-alcoholic gin, it's made with Kennedy love.
Amen. Oh, and speaking of which, I'm very excited about Thanksgiving.
You are? Okay.
Yeah,
Why?
I get real amped up about Thanksgiving.
More than Christmas.
In terms of what I make,
Okay.
yes,
Oh,
because
'cause you
Christmas
cook?
I make the same thing every year.
And what's that?
For Christmas I do homemade cinnamon rolls because I have celiac, so they're gluten free, so they have to
Yes.
be good and they take time.
Okay.
So I get up early on Christmas morning, and it's great with teenagers because they sleep in, so it gives me more time to cook.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say that they help you, but that's not the case.
No, no, please. Actually, this year for Thanksgiving, they are helping. They're
Okay.
each making a dish.
Very nice.
Yes. So the 19-year-old is making mac and cheese.
Yes.
And the 15-year-old is making pumpkin cupcakes with cream cheese frosting.
Are these all you gluten free?
They have to be, yeah.
Wow. See,
Yeah.
that's another cookbook
So we'll
you could
have
come up
we'll
with.
have a 100% gluten-free Thanksgiving, but
Okay.
there will be cornbread muffins and there will be stuffing with fresh herbs and
I'm coming to your place.
yeah, the stuffing's really good.
Oh,
because
I love
it's got
stuffing.
sausage and
Oh,
cranberries.
yes. All the, you know what? It tastes good
Yeah.
even the next day when
Yeah,
all of
it's
the
the best. It
juices have
mingle.
like sunk in.
Yes. Stuffing, and I'm gonna make it on Wednesday so it mingles, and then I'm just gonna reheat it.
Mingles, I
Yes,
love it.
because it has to do like all the
It does.
flavors have to get to know each
right
other
away. It's not as good as if you put it in the fridge and it just sort of like, oozes itself into
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, and the one thing that stresses me out is making gravy.
Oh, I was going to
'Cause-
say.
Yeah, because gravy is, my mom taught me a trick where you take like a quarter cup of flour, which will be rice flour, and milk, and you shake it and get all the lumps out, and then you add it to a pan, and you add turkey drippings and chicken stock and salt and pepper and a little bit of vermouth. But you
Oh.
have to whisk it constantly.
lot of work.
And it gets angry.
Yeah.
And it gets lumpy. Like in Bridget Jones' Diary, remember when she was like, your gravy needs stirring. She's like, no, it doesn't. She's
It's
like,
all lumpy and
yeah,
gross.
lumpy gravy calls.
Gravy is an art form. It really is.
Yeah.
That's why we buy it in the can.
Well, so I got boxes of Whole Foods gravy this
Okay,
year.
yes, excellent.
Yeah.
The less things that
Because like
I
I'm
have
not
to
stressing
do.
out over it. I'm
Are
not.
you a cranberry girl? Do you like the
I
cranberry?
love cranberries.
You do.
But I'm serving cranberries always. I've got a jar of, hippie whole cranberries. I will make my own cranberry sauce.
Okay.
With orange zest and
Yes.
cinnamon sticks and the whole thing.
Sounds delish.
It's going to be great. And then I've got, the Ocean Spray molded can lump of cranberries, which some people, it makes them very nostalgic.
Does it last all like for a decade, that stuff?
Absolutely.
It does,
Yeah,
right?
like when
That's what you
when
put in
we
your...
experience the apocalypse.
That's right. It's correct. Cranberry.
We will be taking butter knives and opening cans, and we will be spooning
correct.
that cranberry gel into
Or
our faces.
whatever.
Yeah.
Cranberry jello. Okay,
Yeah.
so Thanksgiving is exciting for you.
What are you doing? What do? You don't cook?
I am a terror. I hate it.
Really?
Yeah. When did you start enjoying cooking? I
Not,
hate it.
so I wasn't. My mom and my grandmother, both phenomenal home cooks.
Wow.
And so my grandmother, I always joke, like, I don't think she owned like measuring devices. It was
Just
all
did it.
eyeball.
Wow.
And everything tasted so good. And she was a food nurturer,
Okay.
but a pusher.
Yep.
So she would make like a massive spread.
Yes.
And if you didn't eat plate after plate after plate, she's like, you don't like my
Insulted.
cooking?
Yeah.
You don't like it? Oh, I sorry. I didn't know you were no longer eating. And it's like, I can't fit any more food into my stomach. And my mom also like an amazing cook and who has the ability to look at a near empty fridge
Yeah,
and make something.
make something.
And I'm like, how did you do that?
That's crazy.
I never would have put those ingredients
So
together.
when did you decide that you were going to do this?
My mid-20s.
Really?
Yeah. So
okay.
it's like, and part of me, have you been following the trad wife trend?
What is that?
It's really funny. It's like women, and it's like, I have a great deal of respect for women who stay at home.
Okay.
But it's like they churn their own butter and they make their own
Oh,
flour.
No, I'm
And
not. That'll
yeah,
never
they make
ever
their
happen.
own sugar.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's like these things are really time consuming.
Of course.
And they put
How do
everything
you
on
make
Instagram.
sugar? How do you make your own sugar?
I don't know. It's like, you know how I make it? I walk over to Morton Williams and I buy a bag.
Exactly.
And then I come home and I measure it out.
I am just lucky that I'm married to a fireman who knows how to cook. And
Oh, yeah. You would have to.
He learned how to cook in the firehouse.
So what's his secret to a great turkey?
You would have to ask him that. There are certain dishes.
You're not even.
I don't
you're
even-
not even
no.
around the kitchen.
I am not. And here's the thing with Sean too. He will say that, get out of my kitchen. Like he doesn't, we have a small kitchen.
Oh,
I
is it a galley
understand it.
kitchen?
Yeah, it's very tiny.
Yeah.
And but he just doesn't like when he is doing his thing, like get out.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help me in the learning process of cooking.
I think it's funny.
He will tell you this, when we were dating and I knew that, this could be the one.
Yeah. Was he already a firefighter when you were
Oh, yeah,
dating?
yeah. He's been a firefighter for almost 30 years.
Damn,
Yes.
girl.
So I did make shepherd's pie.
Oh, sweet.
It took me all day
Really?
long, and it actually turned out well.
Okay.
So that one dish,
Sealed
maybe
the deal.
it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I've never
you made
cooked
it
anything
since?
else.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this. Maybe you can surprise him this year on his birthday and make shepherd's pie.
That is never happening.
Because it really doesn't take that long.
But it was a lot. I mean, no, Kennedy, shepherd's pie is a big deal. Like you have to do
Oh,
the
I know.
meat,
Yeah.
and then you have to
Yeah, so you
do something with potatoes.
Yes, you mash them.
Mash the potatoes.
So you
peel the
So
potatoes.
so peeling the
Add
potatoes,
things
that's
like
the most
carrots.
labor intensive. Yes. But so what I do
Okay.
is I do
Go across the street. And
carrots, celery, onion,
Right.
and you not celery, sorry, carrots and onion, and then you saute that, you add the meat, you brown that all together,
Right.
you season
I'm
it,
sweating right now thinking about it. Like
you
it's
add
so much
the
work.
peas,
Yeah.
and then while that's happening, you've been boiling the potatoes for 20 minutes.
Yep.
You test them, you make
Yep.
sure they're done, you pour out the water,
Yep.
mash, mash, mash. You add what
I blocked
I
this
add
out.
organic vegan butter
Holy moly.
and milk
Yeah.
and salt and pepper
See, he
and
would have
garlic
married
powder.
you
And,
had he
mash,
met
mash,
you.
mash. And then I add cheese. You add goat cheese.
Cheese.
Crumbled goat cheese because it's shepherd's pie.
It took me all day
I will come to
long.
your house and make shepherd's pie with you.
Deal.
Yeah.
I'm in.
But I will do a step-by-step Janice Dean tutorial. It will be idiot-proof.
I
And you will
will
be able to
need
replicate
many
this?
of these.
Yes, that's fine.
Tons. It might work out, actually.
Yeah, well, I might actually bring alcohol to your house.
We would need that. I would have to have at least 3 of these that have alcohol in it to even entertain the thought of going in the kitchen and
No,
making
it's going to be
anything.
amazing. And then this year, I'm not doing a pumpkin pie. I'm doing a sweet potato pie.
So I'm not a big fan of anything pumpkin.
Neither is my sexy teenage boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sexy teenage boyfriend.
Yeah.
Has
And
he?
people take that literally. He's 45. So he's not a teenager.
I've not met this sexy teenage boyfriend.
Oh, that's an outrage.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm hoping that it happens this Christmas season.
Yeah, me too.
Mhm.
Yes, come over, please.
Like, have you talked about this? You talk about this? Like, how did
I've
you guys?
I mentioned him almost every podcast.
Okay, so how did you guys meet?
In the elevator.
What? I
Yeah.
did not. Whose elevator?
We were living in the same building.
This is almost like Jessica Tarlov.
I know. That's why it's so funny. But like the parallels to my friends at Fox are pretty hysterical because
Did you know that this guy was living in the building, or you just walked in?
no, we flirted like hardcore the first time we met, and he was like staring at me and flirting with me. I was like, oh
When?
my God.
In the elevator?
Yes. And then
So how did that go? If I'm you,
Yes.
So how was that going?
so I had just gotten done with a workout, so I was wearing a very adorable running skirt and tank top.
Okay.
And I had gone to the bodega and gotten watermelon because I love watermelon,
Okay.
especially in the
Yes,
summer. It's
right.
delicious. And so he's staring at me, and he's
But
like,
was the staring like creepy stare?
no, it wasn't creepy at all.
It was just like,
Yeah, he was like, and he's like, kind of looking me up and down. He looks at watermelon, and he's like, "What's up with the watermelon?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "That's a lot of watermelon." He's like, "Yeah, that's right." He goes, "What are you going to do with it?" I said, "I'm probably going to put it in champagne." And he said, "Is that good?" And I said, "It's heaven." And then the door opened to his floor, and he got out and he said, "Enjoy your watermelon." I was like, "Oh, I will. I will."
And
enjoy
then
my
what
watermelon."
happened?
And then
did you not know that he was suggesting that maybe that was a lot of watermelon that maybe he could help you with?
he needed to make a bigger move.
Okay.
Because
But did
I'm-
you know in your mind, like, oh,
I knew that he was very cute, and I was like, "Damn fool!" And then a few weeks later,
and did you know he lived in your building?
no,
Okay.
I'd
So
never
this
seen
could
him
have been
before.
just random
Yeah.
guy.
And so I didn't see him for weeks, and I was like, "Oh, it's probably some like
He's
cute guy
probably
visiting
going to
his
somebody
girlfriend."
else.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
And then, so one night I'm walking Lemmy, and we walk in, and he's on the phone, and he's having a heated conversation, and so
Heated, like mad?
he's mad at
Okay,
whoever's
somebody,
on the phone. Yeah,
yeah.
it was clearly a work call.
Okay.
So you have to push your floor, and it tells you which elevator to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And so it sent us to the same elevator, and he saw me, and I could tell by his eyes he remembered me.
Okay.
So he's like,
But
I have
did he
to go.
know you? Did he know you were like TV Kennedy?
No, he doesn't have a TV. And he never watches cable news. He didn't know what the 5 was. It was great. And so, because
Right, because you listen.
I tangled
you're
with
the
a few
Kennedy.
psychos who really wanted to get on
Right,
Fox.
right.
Who were out
Of
of their
course.
minds.
This is I love this story so much. Okay.
And so he was like, "You have a dog?" And I was like, "I do." And he's like, "How was the watermelon?" I was like, "I told you it was heavenly." And he said, "Well, we should have a drink next time you." And I was like, "Great." And so he said, "Well,
like, were you like
he
going
said,
jumping for joy
give me your
in your mind?
number, and I'll text you and we'll
Okay,
go have a drink."
right,
And so
right,
I was like, "He's gonna be a like every other guy in the world, no offense, and he's not gonna text me for 3 days." He texted me 10 minutes later.
Oh,
I was like, "Well, let's have a drink." Yes, isn't that great? So we talked for 2.5 hours, and then after 2.5 hours, he's like, "Well, other than triathlons, what do you do?" And I was like, "I work in cable news." And he's like, "Are you a writer or a producer?" I was like, "No, I'm on air." And he's like, "Where?" And I said, "I don't want to tell you
Yeah,
because this is
I
going
know.
so
Right,
well
I understand.
that you're going to set my house on fire if you're a liberal." And I was like, "Fox." He's like, "Oh, that's cool." And I was like, "Do you watch Fox?" He's like, "No."
No, I don't.
And then you're wearing a West Point shirt, which is
Yeah.
funny because he's like, I was like, "Where did you go to school?" And he's like, "West Point." And I was like Ulysses S. Grant. And he said, "Yes, he's one of the many West Pointers." And then I called Kat as soon as I was done. I was like, "I just met a guy who went to West Point, just like Kat's husband." Isn't that wild?
I can't. We were just at West Point. We got a
Isn't it
wonderful
beautiful?
tour. I mean, I like was there, and I just felt the history through my bones.
Yeah.
And I just thought, what an honor to be here with all of these people who have serving hearts and, their duty to the Constitution and just, And
To the Constitution, not to the leader.
correct.
That is
That's
what is
the thing that
extraordinary.
stuck with me.
Yeah.
Why don't our leaders have that kind of same duty?
Yes.
Right?
Why don't they realize that?
Right.
Yes.
Instead, it's like, well, talk to my lawyer.
Well, even, okay, so with college football, the transfer portal, like college football is now an individual sport. Like you don't care about a team anymore. With the Army, you can't transfer because you're
No.
going to serve for 5 years in the U.S.
Yes.
Army when you graduate from West Point.
Yes, that's
Like
correct.
you are going to serve. And they call it the last of the hard because so much of our society has just gotten soft.
Yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
all those people that go to West Point, they are the real deal.
Yeah, they're extraordinary.
I mean, I want my kids to go there.
Yeah.
We were just sort of like, my
I
whole
hope they
family
do.
went. I would
Yes.
love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this story. So, okay. Well, so how long have you been dating for?
A year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait to meet this fella.
Oh, you're going to love him. He's the nicest.
You deserve
smartest guy.
this. This is like divine intervention. This is
No.
like meant to be. Cheers to you, Kennedy.
Cheers to love, to shepherd's pie and
Thanksgiving.
those who make and consume it.
I will not be doing making.
But I'm very thankful for you.
I am thankful for you too.
Your friendship truly is a gift.
I feel the same about you.
Yeah.
I really believe that. A lot of people are like, you guys, you seem like you really like each other. Well, we actually love each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I would
you
do anything
are
for you.
an amazing person, and I'm so glad we had this time. So thank you for coming back to the podcast.
Have you ever told anybody that story about you meeting Mr. Beautiful West Point teenager man?
Yes.
You've told it on the air?
Not on the air.
Well,
no.
that's what I mean. You
No.
haven't told it on your podcast?
No, I've never
So
told
I
on my
brought
pod-
this out
you
of
brought
you.
this out, yes.
I love this. This is good. I hope this story goes everywhere. I hope people realize that love is in the air.
Yes, alchemy exists. Like, and sometimes you just have to talk to someone.
It's so true.
Yeah, you have to go out on a limb.
You
and-
do.
Yeah.
Because Sean and I were a blind date too, and I didn't want to go to that blind date. And look at where we are.
Still going.
It's still going strong. He's my kitchen man.
That's absolutely right. I love it. So I'm thankful for all of you as well.
Cheers.
Cheers. This has been Kennedy Saves the World Happy Hour along with Janice Dean. I'm
love
Kennedy.
you.
There will be more.
Listen ad-free with the Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app. Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.